So this is my first attempt at doing some oral history recordings. Here we have, what's your name?
Deborah Carper.
Okay. Deborah, you were going to tell us some stories, memories that you had from growing up. And I have a picture to go with one of them, but I got to find that. But I'll let you start.
Well, first of all, right up the street on Germantown Road, South Germantown Road, around Germantown Trails, I used to cross the street and play in the creek that's still there and play with tadpoles. And the house that I'm living on now, the 7230, is where a chicken farm used to be. But this little picture here was taken when I was on Germantown Road when I went to Germantown, probably about the first year I went to Germantown in second grade, because I was 7 years, 8 months. But my mama did the little bobby pin curls all over my head to get these curls. And that's the picture I got taken.
I'm going to have to do a comparison to see if you look like Shirley Temple.
That's who I was going for. I love Shirley Temple.
When you held that up, my first thought was Shirley Temple.
Me and Bobby and Ronnie used to fight over the TV because they wanted to watch Savad and I wanted to watch Shirley Temple. So we had one TV with 6 kids, so it was always a fight for Shirley Temple. Bobby couldn't stand Shirley Temple. Anyway, that's that story. Then there's the story when we lived on Dunn. Papa Murray lived with us for a while. And I think he had a cup of hot coffee sitting on the table. And Ronnie was a baby, or pretty young. And he got up there and pulled it off on him. And that hot coffee went across his chest. And it left a scar up until he was grown. He still got the scar. He would still have the scar. He's passed away now. But it really burned him bad. So.
And that was, which house was that? Was that Germantown or Dunn?
That was Dunn.
That was Dunn.
Yeah.
And didn't you also hurt yourself like on a swing set or something? What was that story? I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember where I was at, but I fell. I was swinging on the bar across the swing set, and I fell, and my neck hit it. And the doctor, I still got the scar, but the doctor said if it had been just a hair further, it would have got my windpipe and it would have killed me.
And that was when you were done, right?
Yeah, that was done.
Because I know there's, I actually did a video on the boys that drowned down the road from y'all on Dunn. I have a separate video I did about them. And I remember there was another family with a little boy drowned at a public pool. Because Mama always told about how the mama didn't want him to go, and fought for, and like argued and said they didn't need to go, that it wasn't safe, and the family argued that he had that they had lifeguards, and then he went and he drowned.
Oh my gosh!
And then there was another little boy that died of cancer that lived on Dunn. I hadn't been able to find his name yet, but I found the little boy that drowned. He's buried at Memorial Park on Poplar.
Yeah.
A lot of the people from that era that died are, but y'all were accident prone.
Yeah. And we never went to a doctor. My dad never took us to a doctor. If we went to a doctor, it was an emergency room visit. I grew up with really bad asthma, really bad, and living next to that dirt road, it was really torture. And I would get bad episodes, and they'd have to drive me from Germantown Road all the way to downtown Baptist to the emergency room, and I'd have to get steroid shots and some awful tasting cough medicine that tasted like some kind of liquor. It was terrible, but it was the only thing that would bring me to.
And y'all didn't have air. Did y'all have fans?
No, we didn't have air. We had fans, but and that was terrible. It was just really terrible for my asthma.
During the winter, did y'all have like a wood burning stove? Or?
Yeah, we did. Wood burning stove.
I think I found the house on one of the historic aerial where they took pictures back in the 50s or so. I found the area. I gotta find it. I'm gonna look through my pictures and see what I can find.
And then Mama would always, it was so terrible. Mama would fry a chicken And of course, all 6 kids wanted the breast. So it was a fight to the table every time she cooked dinner for all of us wanting to get the chicken breast. It was funny back then.
And y'all still don't do the thighs now.
No, everybody still eats the breast. Yeah. I think Amy, my daughter, eats, and Rusty eats chicken legs and breast, but everybody in my immediate family eats the breast.
So remind me, list the brothers and sisters from youngest to oldest. Lisa is the youngest, and my mama was the oldest. So
it was your mama, and then Bobby a year later, then me in 53, then Ronnie in 57, then Richard in 66, and then Lisa in Richard in 63, and Lisa in 66.
And then I think I had found a record where they had a baby that miscarried somewhere.
I don't know about
but
that.
That hadn't been confirmed. It was a little before Mama, I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to find the record I looked at.
I never heard that story, but...
Because I think it was news to Mama, too.
Yeah.
And so your mama died in 68, and how old were you when your mama died?
Right at 15, I think.
Yeah, because Mama had just graduated high school, like right when it happened. I can't remember the exact year. And then I remember she got married to Daddy in August of 68, coming up, their anniversary would have been the end of this month.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking it was Sharpe, but there was near Sharpe School that my sister Betty used to go to.
Yeah.
It was on Dunn. Anyway, the street was full of little boys. That's all that was on the street. And I was like 3, 4, 5, 6, that age. And I used to stand on the porch and throw rocks at them all day long. So one day they come ganging up and threw rocks at me while I was standing on the porch and hit me in the head, and I've still got a scar where I had to go get stitches. And then another memory from Dunn was my mom had made an appointment for a photographer to come take my picture, my sister Betty, and my brother Bobby's picture. So the photographer was on his way out to take our picture, and my mom was ironing. I guess she was ironing our outfits we were going to wear. And I got one of those Mexican jelly beans, and I put it between my lip and my nose. And of course I sucked it up my nose. So I had to go get it out. I think we went to the doctor, and I had to get it out some way. And then we come home, and somehow we still took those pictures.
And about how old were you in that picture?
Probably 6 or 7. Okay. Probably 6.
Do you remember I have the address for both houses, but do you remember the address out here on Germantown?
I want to say it was 4972 for some reason.
Yeah, south of East Shelby Drive, but north of Holmes Road. Is it Holmes at the stop sign? Yeah, so that's where we were driving today. And let's see, y'all were renters out here, weren't you? If I remember right.
We rented a house, and it had a big dirt road beside it. Of course, I had asthma, so it was torture for me. But it had cotton fields beside it, and I never will forget. The family would go out there and pick cotton, and I would go thinking I was going to make a lot of money. So I'd be out there all day and get like a fourth or a half a bag of cotton, thinking I was going to make a whole lot of money, and it'd be like a quarter from picking cotton all day. So, and it wouldn't weigh anything. So that was my experience with picking cotton.
And that was out on Germantown Road too?
Yeah, that was on Germantown Road.
I know. I was thinking about Mama's story the other day about her first job. They saw that she graduated from Germantown High School, and they hired her at the bank. But then a day or two later, they sent a message, or I don't know if they called. I don't think y'all did y'all have a phone?
Yeah.
Okay. And they called and told her that, because of your mom and daddy's financial history, she couldn't be employed at the bank. And
oh, Lord. Yep. And then while we were out there, Betty got a job at Kentucky Fried Chicken up here on Lamar. From out here on Germantown Road, drove all the way to Lamar, which was the city then. Well, she worked there for a while, and then she got me on, and I was like 16. So I worked there, and while I was working there, Betty got robbed. And that was a big deal because Betty froze and wouldn't give them the money. And the robber had to jump over the counter and get the money himself.
I can see that. Yeah, I remember her telling that story. I could see Mama freezing. I could see me doing that.
Yeah. So that was funny. And everybody that would come in, everybody, I mean, they'd say, "Do you know you have beautiful blue eyes?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been told that a couple of times." But everybody that would come in would say that.
Take your glasses off so we can see them. Okay.
They're dark blue.
Okay.
They're not as blue as they used to be. They used to be very blue.
And what years would that have been when you were working over on Lamar?
Let's see, I was like 16 and I was born in 53. So I was like 16 or 17.
So around 68?
Yeah, 68, 69.
Yeah, because that was about when Mom and Daddy got married in 68. So it would have been about right.
And then there was a story when we had the car wreck on Mount Pleasant, and Mama was in the hospital, and we'd been up to see her, and well, it was when Martin Luther King got killed, and they were throwing bricks at the car, so we had to come home and couldn't get that far.
I remember Mama talked about, because your Mama had been in the rehab hospital over off of Lamar, which was at that time was really close to where Elmwood Cemetery is now. Mm-hmm. And when they took the cast off, she had with a blood clot, I think it was, and they had to rush her to the Baptist downtown, and that occurred the trip that you're remembering about the bricks, because I remember Mama talked about none of the all the nurses were short staffed because everybody was afraid to come to work or couldn't get to work or whatever. Mm-hmm.
See, I don't remember all that. I just remember the story of when they took the cast off, she developed a blood clot, and before they could rush her to surgery, she died. And I thought she was already at the hospital, but maybe not, because Betty probably remembers it better than I did.
It's quite possible. That was just bits and pieces that I remembered, but
yeah.
Let me pause this. It's getting